As always on Mother's Day, it does occur to me, and many of you have been with me on a number of previous Mother's Days, where I have declared that the beauty of the daily word on what mothers mean and what they give and what they do and what they provide is not the experience of many people. When many people think of mother, they do not tap into an experience of having received gentleness, compassion, love, understanding. Some, when they think of mother, tap into an experience that in their experience was quite different. And so Mother's Day is a hard day for a number of people that I've known throughout my life. Mother's Day has been for many people an opportunity for them to feel everything they missed out on. And people in my life, I was blessed with an awesome mother. And as a church, we are always on public display. And so on Mother's Day, some of the people in the communities and in the congregations have envied my experience of my mother and envied the experience of other members of our communities who have gathered with them, who have the testimonies about their mothers as being in line with what our daily word speaks when it says mother. The daily word goes on, hopefully, for those people who did not experience that experience with the woman who gave them birth. The daily word goes on to believe that you have experienced those things from someone, somewhere, at some point in your life. And so it declares that if you did not receive these things from your birth mother, we are hoping and praying that you did get it from someone, somewhere, so that you can understand and you can tap in to that person and the love you felt from that one, the nourishment you received from that one, the compassion that was bestowed upon you by that one. Mother's Day is a heartbreak day for a number of people. Many, many years ago, some decades ago, I received a message from the Spirit in my mind and in my heart on a Mother's Day Eve. I knew that I was going to present the Mother's Day sermon at church. I knew that for me, it was one of the happiest days of celebration on the planet because I got to thank God for Norma Jean Anderson giving birth to me at 19 and showing me love all of the years of her life. But I also knew that there would be others who would be in that church feeling like they missed out. They would see me and my mom hugging and kissing. They would hear my words of praise for her. They would see me give her flowers and a gift, and that they would be hurting. The message I received from Spirit, which I've shared from you, said this: Carlos, tell each one, regardless of who their mothers were, regardless of what they received or failed to receive, give them this knowing from me. Your mother is your sister. And many times, your mother is your little sister, less evolved spiritually than you, less evolved socially than you. You have received so many things that were not available to her. so many teachings, so many understandings. Evolution itself has done quite a bit. You have been blessed, perhaps with things your mother was not blessed by. There is no other role in the human experience that is perhaps more judged, more critiqued than the role of being a human being's mother. You were born in her body, connected to her. Your entire life and the development of your body temple completely given to you by her. You picked up on her thoughts and the vibration of those thoughts. You picked up on the vibration of her experiences, both her excitements and her joys, and her anxieties and her fears. And you are here. The reason why mothers are judged and critiqued most heavily of all of the relationships in humanity is because the child expects the mother to be like God, to be all love, unconditional love, to be always there, to be always attentive, to always be shining light and upliftment on the child. And when any of these things appear to be absent, the mother receives a harsh judgment. It is so easy to fill our minds with the things she missed giving us, the ways she missed protecting us, the lessons she did not teach us, the things we wish we had gotten from her that she did not have it in herself to give. Tell them, Carlos, your mother is your sister, because you are not the human self, although you appear to be. And she is not your mother, although she seems to be. Father, Mother, Spirit, God, these are your parents. These are your source. You are a child of heaven and not of earth. And so open your heart to compassion for her. Let her off the hook. Cut her some slack. She's your sister. Many times your little sister. How about you hold her in your arms or in your heart? How about you extend compassion, love, grace, mercy to your sister? Over the years, I've had a number of people, numbering in the hundreds, if not the thousands, who I have received communications from, who have said, you giving me what you received from Spirit, which is the understanding that my mother is my sister, made all the difference. It changed my take on her. Seeing her as my sister, even my little sister, allowed me to hold her and rock her in my arms, even if she made transition years and years ago. In the many years, I have asked communities and congregations, tell me your mother's name and one thing you can tell about her that is good news. She gave you a gift, many gifts. Name one. I remember one woman 30 some years ago standing up in the congregation crying like a baby with her hands raised in the air. She had always held the deepest, deepest pain that her mother gave her away as a baby. Her mother was an alcoholic. Her mother was not mature. Her mother was unprepared. She gave her baby away. Knowing this had been this woman's thorn in her side all of her life, she had held her mother in a place of, "You are guilty. How could you abandon me? You have left me feeling not good enough for my own mother to keep me." But after hearing, "Your mother is your sister, sometime your baby sister," I stand up today in this congregation on this Sunday morning in answer to your request, Pastor Carlos, that we give one thing our mother did, some quality that is good. So I stand here today to say the best thing my mom did, the best gift she could ever give me, was the thing I've cursed her for all these years. My mother knew she did not have what it takes to take care of her baby. She knew that she was living a life of dysfunction. She was lost in alcoholism. She could not take care of herself, let alone a child. So she gave me away. She gave me an opportunity to be loved by people who chose to love her, me, who chose me as their child. This is one thing I know she said about many people. Your mother was stuck with you because she gave birth to you. The mother I ended up with chose me and was mature enough and was functional enough to raise me. I was always cared for. Today, Pastor, I have done something you periodically remind us all to do, and you claim it is what we need to do to be free ourselves. Pastor Carlos, congregation, cloud of witnesses, today I drop the rock. Today I drop the rock. My brothers and sisters, bring to mind some wonderful gift this woman who is your sister, whom you think of as your mother, gave you. It may be a very clear gift. It may be one hidden, such as the woman who stood up in the congregation 30 years ago declared, "My experience that I have called a curse was truly a gift." On this Mother's Day, think of one thing that your mother gave you that has shaped something wonderful in you. Some have said, "I learned to be independent and I learned to be mature because my mother did not have time. She was not available for me to depend upon or to give me advice. I gained these things on my own. And I blamed her until one day I realized I love how responsible I am. I love how independent I am. I love how capable I am. And all of these things were sponsored by my having had to be. You know, we all know. We can look for the light in anything and we will find it. You know, we all know. You can look for the shadow and you're sure to find it. You know, we all know. Everybody is a mix. Yes, them and you and me. It's all a mix. Life is a mix. Ask and you will receive what you're asking. Knock and the door you're knocking on will open. Seek, you will find the evidence you're seeking to support your claim about the way it is, the way she is, the way he is, the way they are, the way it is. All of your asking is answered. Today, let's look for that quality in this sister of ours who took on the role that is criticized and critiqued the most among all human beings. Mama. Mama. You may not have received the one you dreamed of. Make it okay. Find the value. Acknowledge the gift. Our mothers, as I have told you before, have fulfilled their role in getting us from unformed spirit into formed human being for this brief trek of living life in a human experience on a planet called Earth. Your mother gifted you with your first birth. It was a birth into the trials and tribulations of interpersonal relationships here on the planet. But Jesus said, the birth she gave you was to born you into earth. But if you want to be completely free, you must be born again by the Spirit. So today I acknowledge Norma Jean Anderson. She gave me birth from unformed spirit. She shared her body along with my father's body to give me my vessel. She ushered me safely onto my planetary experience. She could have aborted me. She didn't. She could have miscarried me. She didn't. She got me here. But here is not my home. But I can go home while I'm here, back to full connection with my true parental source. Father, Mother, Spirit, God. If I want that, I must be born again. And part of my being born again must surely include my letting my sister off the hook, bowing to her in the altar of my heart, thanking her for getting me here, and promising her I will get me home. Be you transformed by the renewing of your mind. The second principle. I create my experience of my mother by the activity of my thinking. Everything in the manifest realm of my experience of her has its origins in my thoughts about her. Join me today in doing what my sister did 30 years ago on a Mother's Day Sunday in a little church called Hope on a little street named Gaylord in a little town called Amherst in a state called Massachusetts in a country called the United States of America in the Western Hemisphere of the globe. Today, Pastor, I confess in your presence and in the presence of my sisters and my brothers in this spiritual community, this cloud of witnesses to our power to be free. Today, I drop the rock. A Course in Miracles says, when our hands are free from carrying the stones we carry, to stone those we deem worthy of stoning. These empty hands are free to carry lilies to the one we have judged against and to lay them at their feet. Give lilies to your mama this morning, whoever she was, to you. She was the one God chose for you. Bring her lilies in your memories and thoughts of her. If she is still on this plane among you, bring her lilies in your notes to her. Bring her lilies in your communications with her. Be for her all you wished for her to be for you. Herein lies your power and your authority and your joy. I want you to give me a gift, if you will, as many as will. If my sister Deb can notice your hand, and if you are willing, I would like you just to, in one sentence or two sentences, say, my mother's name is, and then speak one gift she gave to you that is your treasure. Is there one among you? Sister Jane.
My mother's name was Mary Carolyn, and she gave me passionate belief.
Thank you. Sister Christine.
My mother's name is Michaelina, and she gave me resiliency.
Mm, thank you. Sister Mayim.
My mother's name was Vera. At the end of her life, she went by Vivi, which was aliveness, I think. She, in a very negative way, told me off, and I was so tactless. But what she gave me was teaching me to be considerate of others that way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yay, God.
I think John had his hand up.
Thank you. My mother's name was Rita, and she gave me one of the gifts, steadfastness.
Yay, God.
The other John had his hand up. Hi, John.
Yeah, go ahead. My mother's name was Frances, and she gave me the gift of acceptance.
Wow. Awesome. Lorraine, you had your hand up.
I don't see Lorraine. Oh, there you are. Sorry.
There you go, Lorraine.
Okay. My mother's name was Tina. And, you know, my mother was just a wonderful, wonderful person. And she loved and accepted other people exactly the way they were.
Mhm.
And, you know, I used to think that my mother I used to think she should take a stand for herself, you know, when I was all tough and everything, you know. She should take a stand for herself. And, you know, after, you know, time went on and I thought, what is that all about, taking a stand for yourself? My mother was just an accepting person. She wasn't resisting life. And she went through a lot in her life, but she just was accepting whatever came. And one of the things, I'll say one more thing. If I complained about something, she used to say, Lorraine, don't think about it. And that was pretty simple. It took me a long time to get that. You know, but anyway, she was just, oh boy. And then she gave me the rest of my siblings, you know. So,
Yay, God.
thank God.
Yay, God.
I see Shifra, Bob, and Stephanie. Shifra, would you like to go first?
This is her picture. Oh wait, if I get it right. Can you see it?
Mm.
That
Awesome.
was her. And this was a picture that I did of her many years ago. It's like a collage. And her name was Charlotte, and her Hebrew name or Yiddish name was Lata Liba. And I think I think that in the ways that she wasn't able to live, she gave me the desire to have maybe the kind of life that she had some difficulties having. And I feel her with me, and in her absence, because she died when I was 6, I feel like it made me reach out to the whole world, kind of in a way for a mother, to be a mother, to go everywhere and reach out to all kinds of people. Yeah, her passing, which was so painful to me, maybe that in a way was a great gift because it opened me up to the world. Thank you.
Wow. Yay, God, Shura. I see 2 symbol hands, one above Greg and Christy and Cynthia, and one above John and Stephanie.
Okay, Cynthia, and then Bob Awkward, and then
Hey.
Stephanie.
You're muted, Cynthia.
No, she's not. Let's try again. We're not hearing you. You're not muted, but we can't hear you. Okay, let's come back to her. Bob, would you like to go?
Yes. My mom gave me the confidence to know that I could do anything I wish to do in life. And the belief that my ability to do that rested more with me than with other people. And secondly, the fact that I was, and the inner confidence, I should say, about the fact that I appear in the world as Black was not a burden, but a source of strength. And that again, because I could do whatever I wish to do, and not to allow anyone to make me feel otherwise, especially because of my race or color, and to be comfortable and confident in that. And I have been my whole life because of that. So it was enormously helpful. I'm so glad Frances, who is my mother's name as it was for John, gave me those gifts, among others.
Yay, God.
Cynthia, do you want to try again? We still can't hear you. Maybe put it in the chat and I'll read it out. Stephanie?
Hi, yeah, my mother's name was Freddie, and she loved to laugh. She had a great sense of humor, which she gave to me, and I just find joy in laughing and having fun. Thanks.
Yay, God.
And Rosemary, you have your hand up. If you unmute, we can hear you.
Hi, good morning. My mother's name was Carmina, and she always was very, very loving and supportive and very gifted, talented woman in terms of musical instruments. Played the piano, classical music, very uplifting. So whenever I was with her, if I was down, I would feel happy again. And so she was a great woman, and met my father in Europe. They both came here and started a nice, well, just me, I was the only child.
Yay, God, Rosemary.
Would anyone else like to share? Sarah, is your hands up?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my mother's name was Eleanor, and I'm sitting here loving thinking of her as my sister. That just explains so much about our dynamic. And I would say that as I'm thinking about, she gave me many things, but I'm thinking that in her own way, she actually, I felt support from her amidst a lot of static. So it was hard for me to maybe see that all the time, but I think basically, especially in the end, she just was solidly supporting who I am. And that's, yeah, thank you.
Yay, God, Sarah. I see Deborah's hand up.
Yes, my mother's name was Anna, and she gave me so many great gifts, musical talent and education and everything. But the greatest of these was she taught me empathy with every human being. And she was the kind of person that people could just talk to, anybody. Someone would come to fix her plumbing and they would be telling her their life story. And she was just a great listener and really empathetic. So I'm so grateful for her.
Yay, God, Debbie.
Who else would like to share? Raleigh?
So first there's in the chat, you'll find Cynthia's message, and then I'll say something.
Okay, I'll read Cynthia's message. My mother's name is Sandra, and she gave me the gift of my first passion, which is politics. She introduced me to it and taught me how to be engaged with the issues that matter to me and use my voice to make change on important matters.
Wow. Yay, God, Cynthia.
Raleigh.
My mother's name is Nancy, and she's about to turn 93. And she gave me the gift of her unending curiosity, which she, which wasn't, my curiosity wasn't the same as her curiosity, but she was just like completely embracing of whatever it was that was showing up for me. She just found all of it fascinating, including when I would get in trouble. She would Carol would these stories would be told of me, and the person laughing loudest in the back of the room would be my mom. And so that curiosity connected very closely with sort of this idea of creativity, and you could be whatever you wanted to be. But I think most important of all, she had she modeled for me, and she modeled with everyone kindness and a deep and abiding kindness that was kind of without respect to all the things that people would see as flaws in people. And she would find that she'd fly on an airplane with somebody and discover that they had problems and get to know them and work them through their problems, and then 4 months afterward be having phone conversations and whatever to try to help them with whatever it was that they were going through. So kindness, the modeling of kindness is the most important of all. Thank you.
Yay, God, Raleigh.
Would anyone else like to share?
Laurie.
My mom's name is Kathy, and she's really talented. She's been a very successful author and of 4 books, and a professor for her whole lifetime. And she's just so talented, and she loves to learn. And I just totally love to learn, and I know I got that from her. And she also really helped me to learn how to be really liberal, and I really like being really liberal, so I'm glad about that. And she goes to Unity in the City, and she's really kind of become a regular Unity since she's can do it on Zoom now. So that makes me so happy and brings us closer, because we both love Unity so much. So yeah, I'm so glad for her. Thanks.
Yay, God, Laurie.
We have another message from Nancy in the chat, who says, my mother's name is Shirley, and she gave me many gifts, but she gave me the greatest gift of knowing that God is an important part of my life. Thank
Wow.
you.
Yay, God.
Would anyone else like to share? Tom.
I can't let Evelyn go unmentioned. My mother was Evelyn. And the first thing that occurs to me, she gave me a kind of an innocent love for humanity. And an innocent heart, which is not without its drawbacks, but I'm so grateful that she has this rosy view that, in spite of a lot of challenges that she had to deal with, seems to have been passed on to me. So I'm certainly very grateful for Evelyn.
Yay, God, Tom.
Well, nobody's speaking up, so I think we can move on, but I definitely hear the sound of rocks dropping. And Rosemary has another thing in the chat. She says, yes, my mother Carmina taught me that having faith and love for God, which translates to love for your brothers and sisters, was great.
Yay, God.
There you go. Reverend Carlos, did you want to say more, or should we go on to our...
All I'd like to say now is amen.